The morning sun poured through the tall glass windows of Harrison & Co., one of the most prestigious firms in New York City. The kind of place where people spoke in buzzwords like leverage and optimization, and looked down on anyone without a $2,000 suit. The elevator doors opened and out stepped a man in gray overalls, carrying a mop and bucket. His name tag read Daniel. He smiled, even though nobody smiled back. The front desk clerk, Becky, barely looked up from her phone. "Maintenance comes through the back entrance," she muttered. Daniel nodded politely. "Yes, ma'am," but the back door was locked. She sighed loudly, as if he had insulted her soul. "Fine. Just don't get the floor wet near the executives. They slip easily, especially on responsibility." Daniel chuckled softly, but Becky didn't notice. She was too busy filming a TikTok about Monday blues in corporate life. Scene 2. The welcome party. On his first day, Daniel learned 3 things. People in suits rarely say, "Thank you." Coffee is sacred. Janitors are invisible until something goes wrong. He mopped the hallway outside the meeting room, where a group of young employees stood gossiping. "Did you see the new janitor?" one whispered. "Yeah," another replied. "He looks like he came from a thrift store clearance sale." They all laughed. Daniel looked up, smiled, and said, "Don't worry, I won't clean up your sense of humor. That stain's permanent." They stopped laughing for a second, unsure if he just roasted them, then laughed louder to hide their discomfort. Inside the boardroom, the CEO, Mr. Collins, a young man with a $300 haircut, was bragging to investors. "We don't tolerate incompetence here," he said while an intern frantically wiped spilled coffee from his $800 shoes. Daniel shook his head. "Incompetence seems pretty comfortable around here," he muttered under his breath. Scene 3. Lisa and the leak. That afternoon, Daniel was fixing a leaky sink in the ladies' restroom when someone walked in. Lisa, a kind-looking young intern with smile too perfect for her face. "Oh, I didn't know anyone was in here," she said nervously. "Don't worry," Daniel replied. "I'm just fixing this faucet before it floods your career." She laughed. "You're funny. Most janitors don't talk much." Daniel smiled. "Most people don't listen much." She paused. "Touché." Lisa offered him a cup of coffee. He accepted it with a nod of gratitude. That single act of kindness would change her life later. Scene 4. The meeting. Later that week, Daniel was sweeping outside the main conference room when he overheard Mr. Collins shouting, "I don't care if it costs people their jobs. Cut the staff. Keep the profits." Daniel froze. He looked through the glass, a dozen executives nodding like puppets. He whispered to himself, "Some people polish greed better than silver." After the meeting, the HR manager, Tracy, approached him. "You're not supposed to be near executive meetings," she barked. "I was just cleaning, ma'am," Daniel replied calmly. "Well, clean somewhere else. This area is for people with actual futures." She strutted away in her red heels like she owned gravity itself. Daniel smiled faintly. "Funny," he said quietly. "So was I once." Scene 5. The glitch. One Friday night, as everyone rushed home, Lisa stayed behind, panicking at her desk. Her computer system had crashed, and the quarterly data report was due the next morning. If she failed, she'd be fired. Daniel walked by, noticed her stress, and asked, "Everything all right?" "No," she sighed. "The system's down, and I can't access the files. It left hours ago." He leaned over. "Mind if I try?" Lisa blinked. Sure, but it's complicated." Click, click, click. Daniel's fingers moved like lightning across the keyboard. Within minutes, the system rebooted. "All fixed," he said. Lisa stared. "How did you wait? Janitors don't learn coding, do they?" Daniel grinned. "Depends on the janitor." Just then, Tracy, the HR lady, walked in. "Oh, look," she said with a smirk. "The Mop Man is giving tech advice now?" Lisa tried to explain, but Tracy interrupted. If you break the system, Lisa, it's on you. We can't afford another screw-up. Daniel said softly. Actually, she just saved your company $10,000. Tracy rolled her eyes. Thanks, Einstein. With a mop. Go clean something. He smiled, grabbed his mop, and whispered, Cleaning messes is what I do best. Scene 6. The exit. The next week, Daniel submitted his resignation. Tracy laughed so hard she nearly dropped her Starbucks cup. Quitting already? Couldn't handle the stress of sweeping ambition? Daniel looked her in the eye. No, Tracy. I'm just done cleaning up after people who think dirt only exists on the floor. She blinked, unsure how to respond. As Daniel walked toward the door, Mr. Collins called out, Hey, Janitor! Daniel turned. Good luck out there, Collins said mockingly. Maybe one day you'll own a mop company. Daniel smiled. Maybe I'll own yours instead. The laughter that followed him out echoed down the hall, like a bad joke with a cruel punchline. Scene 7. 3 years later. 3 years pass. The once mighty Harrison & Co. is in shambles. Stocks plummet, lawsuits pile up, and the board is desperate for a miracle. A mysterious investor group called DA Holdings steps in to acquire the failing company. The employees whisper in panic. Who are they? Are we getting fired? Mr. Collins straightens his tie. Relax. Whoever they are, they'll need me. Tracy, now head of HR, snaps her gum. Once they see my leadership skills, I'll be promoted. Lisa, still at the company, sighs quietly. We'll see. Scene 8. The return. The boardroom is silent. As the doors swing open, footsteps echo across the polished marble floor. A man in a sleek black suit enters confident, calm, with eyes that have seen both dirt and diamonds. It's Daniel. The same janitor they mocked. Tracy gasps. Wait, is that? Mr. Collins stammers. Daniel? The janitor? Daniel smiles. No, Mr. Daniel Anderson, owner of DA Holdings. The room goes silent. You could hear the sound of ego shattering. Scene 9. The Reckoning. Daniel walks to the head of the table, rests his hands on the wood, and says, 3 years ago, I was told this company didn't need people like me, so I started my own. He slides a document across the table, the acquisition papers. Now I own it. Collins laughs nervously. Listen, Daniel, this is business. Don't take it personally. Daniel chuckles. Oh, it's not personal. It's poetic. Tracy speaks up desperately. We didn't mean any of that. We were just doing your job. Daniel finishes for her. Funny. So was I. He looks around the room. I saw how you treated people. Not just me. Your staff. Your janitors. Your interns. You created a culture where kindness was weakness. He pauses. And that's why your company collapsed. Tracy begs. Please, don't fire us. Give us another chance. Daniel smiles cold but calm. I'm giving people another chance. Just not you. He turns to Lisa, sitting quietly at the end of the table. You still work here? She nods nervously. Good, he says. You're the new head of operations. Lisa's jaw drops. Wait, what? Daniel grins. You were the only one who treated me like a person. Turns out, empathy is the best business skill. Scene 10. Kammer, Serval, Cole. Tracy is escorted out by security, still protesting. Mr. Collins signs the resignation papers, his hands trembling. Daniel looks out the tall glass window, the same view he once admired while pushing a mop. Lisa walks in. That was intense. Daniel nods. I don't enjoy revenge. I enjoy balance. She smiles. What are you going to do now? He looks at her and says, rebuild. But this time, we'll build a company where no one feels beneath anyone. He turns toward the employees who had once ignored him and says loudly, respect is free, but some people are too poor to give it. Silence fills the room heavy, cleansing, powerful. Daniel takes a long breath, then adds with a grin, "Now, someone get me a mop. We've got a mess to clean again." The staff laughs nervously, not sure if he's joking. He is, mostly. Final scene. The last laugh. Weeks later, Harrison & Co., now Anderson Industries, becomes a viral success story. The janitor who became CEO. A journalist interviews Daniel on live TV. "What's your secret to success?" she asks. Daniel smiles. "Simple. Never forget what it feels like to be invisible. And never treat anyone like they are." He looks straight at the camera and adds with a wink, "Oh, and clean your own mess once in a while. You never know who's watching." Moral: don't judge people by their job title. Power changes people, but humility reveals who they truly are. The hands that clean your office today might sign your paycheck tomorrow. Karma may be late, but it never misses an appointment. Daniel walked out of that boardroom, no mop in hand, but with every head bowed in shame. The same people who mocked his uniform now worked under his signature. Never judge someone by their job, because one day, that nobody might sign your paycheck. What would you do if your boss turned out to be the janitor you laughed at? Drop your thoughts below. Like this story if you believe in karma. Subscribe for more stories where life serves justice cold. Thanks for watching. Thanks.